Welcome back into European Masters. We're getting right into Champion Select between YDN Gamers and GamerLegion. We kind of alluded to it before, Foxy, but YDN had probably one of the more interesting finals of any of the teams that we've seen here in European Masters.
Yeah, it was very peculiar. They got to the finals and their bot laner Endz, he couldn't play, so they put their mid laner bot, their top laner Gabbo, then shared space top and mid with their sub, and they still managed to win 3-1. So it was pretty... it's why coming into EU Masters, it's kind of hard to judge YDN Gamers, because it's like, alright, they 3-1 the finals with that... What was that? Like, what happened there? So just how strong is this squad? And their first game in EU Masters against GamerLegion, we're definitely going to find out.
Especially because they played Taliyah bot lane every single one of those games in the finals, and it did very well. So we'll see how their champion selection is going to go here as they lock in Kalista immediately, not seeing a ban. Instead, GamerLegion wanted to take away some of the jungle picks from Tabasko, a player that has been a crowd favorite out of Italy and, well, out of Poland, now going over to Italy and saying, this is my time to shine.
Yeah, at least he's his most played champion, which is why it's no real surprise to see that banned out. He loves those early game junglers. Also a big fan of like Rek'Sai and Gragas and stuff like that. Now I'm expecting, I talked about this before the break after our last game. I think Rabble's going to want to put some focus on the Trundle or the Gragas. We've seen the EU Master meta kind of develop into those two picks being premier picks, and you're often seeing the jungler picked quite early nowadays. And there is the Trundle lock in here for Rabble. It's been such a strong pick, honestly, and no surprises. I actually think Trundle into Kalista, by the way, is really tough to play. Like, how do you hop around a pillar? Like, that's tough. Exactly. Like, you can't hop through the pillar. It's just it just ruins your day.
It slows you down too, makes it so you're having an even more difficult time throwing out those spears. It's going to be a difficult thing for YDN Gamers. The Gragas for Tabasko, that is a pick that he has been pretty much going to whenever Elise is banned. I was kind of hoping for more of a Rek'Sai, seeing if he could play that instead, try to go for something that would maybe punish this Trundle earlier into the game. Instead, they don't. And Phantomles locking in Akali. I wonder if that is going to be for Phantomles or for Gabbo.
Yeah, I mean, they could still flex it at this point, but the same can be said with Kalista as well. We have been seeing a bit more Kalista focus in the bot lane, but don't forget, it all started with Kalista in that top lane. So, and Nite locks in the Lissandra. This will be, if I'm not mistaken, this will be the first Lissandra of our tournament. Fun fact about Nite, he plays Nocturne mid. It's his second most played champion. So I was kind of hoping for that, and you know what? I got Lissandra. Probably it's like when you wish for an Xbox 360 for Christmas and you get socks. So
that is
not quite what I was wishing for.
That's a horrible thing. You asked for an Xbox and you got socks? That's like...
Well, mate, I don't know.
I'm just saying that's
okay.
Oh man, I would feel that would be heartbreaking.
Now you know how I feel. I thought this was a Nocturne coming through.
I was looking forward to that. The box was even an Xbox too. Like they put the socks into the box of
just
an Xbox.
Empty. Oh no, they're not that cruel to be fair.
Okay, that's fair.
I did end up a bit weird, but that wasn't the reason why. So I think we're all safe on that part. We're seeing some more mage bans coming through here for Hjarnan specifically. We didn't even talk about Heimerdinger, but I mean, it's Heimerdinger and Hjarnan.
Do we need to?
This was a constant ban against him in Worlds, right? In Worlds, he was getting Heimerdinger banned against him.
In his career.
So
this guy's insane on Heimerdinger. You never can let him have that. If he ever got Heimerdinger throughout this entire main stage, group stage, I would be flabbergasted. I'd be like, what are you doing? Are you just trying to give GamerLegion a win?
Yeah, he has a pretty good win rate with Heimer. What is it like? His this year and like his career totals are both ridiculously high.
I know his career total. He's played 20 games and he has 17-3.
Yeah, and I think this year is 100% win rate. So it's a pretty good ban, and the Ziggs as well is something that it's not Heimerdinger, but it's something that Hjarnan has been playing a decent amount of. He really does like these bot mages, and now it's with this Taliyah lock-in, I'm kind of thinking, is that Hjarnan now? Is that the Hjarnan bot lane?
I'm wondering
is he kind of playing that Taliyah bot? Like, he does like mages, but that's... I don't think he's been pinched that hard.
So I'm like thrown off. it's a Taliyah for GamerLegion, where we talked about how GamerLegion played that bot lane before, and now you have 2 assassins with a Kalista already locked in for YDN Gamers. This is like, and it's going into a Lissandra and Trumble. I'm just trying to figure out the draft.
Yeah, I'm not really 100% sure what's going on here. So, yeah, okay. So the possibility of that being like a Gragas Kalista bot lane is 0. So there's that. But
unless it's like the AP Alistar of the old days. Did you ever play that?
Oh yeah. I remember the Shushay days of AP Alistar. That was painful. That didn't last very long, fortunately. Fortunately for the victims. Oh, it is, and a Poppy as well. This Poppy is actually, this is a really smart pick. So if you look at all the dashes that YDN have, you've got Kalista permadashing, Qiyana, when she picks up an element, she dashes, and also just her E, like the Yasuo dash. You've got Gragas, his whole engage is like playing around dashes. Alistar's engage is playing around dashes. Holy moly!
That one pick literally counters everything on YDN. They got,
what were the chances of that?
Mind game.
Taliyah, well, you say they got mind brain. I mean, to be fair, I have to criticize the Italian representatives here, who wasn't prepping for the Taliyah Poppy bot lane. Like, honestly, how did you not see that one coming?
Let me see. I'm trying to figure out if I was prepped for that. I don't know if you were prepped for that. Were you prepped for that?
yeah, mate. 100%. Obviously.
This guy's got the big brain. I don't got no big brain. You got it on me. I will say, though, I love Poppy support. It's one of those picks that you don't see too often, but with this draft that GamerLegion have, it fits so perfectly, because not only do they already have the front line of Trumble, but they get extra damage coming in from Renekton, who's going to try to see if he can win out against Gabbo's Akali in the top lane, as well as you have Lissandra mid lane to make sure that you can lock them down so you can't even get kited back.
That is a double cleanse coming out from mid and bot lane of YDN here as well. So Lissandra's already going to have a bit of a problem, but to be perfectly honest, like if you've forced 2 cleanses out here, the cleanse doesn't really have a huge amount of value on anyone else from GamerLegion. Like sure, the Renekton stun you can cleanse and stuff, but that's not really a huge amount apart from that. So it's, at least there's a bit of an advantage there, a bit like when you're playing like Malzahar or Skarner and you force enemy team to buy Sash, like you just have
the Skarner tax.
Yeah, exactly. So there is that benefit. I'm also, my eyes are drawn to not just Nite's champion pick here, but also his runes too.
See, I was looking at that same thing. I was waiting for you to finish your statement and saying, this, to me, shows that GamerLegion, with that Predator for Lissandra, are going to try to play so heavily on rotating around the map, never letting up pressure onto YDN Gamers, that they're looking to try to see if they can just end this one very quickly and cleanly, even though their composition can scale pretty well in that mid game.
It's why I was kind of surprised to see the Qiyana pick. Like, you don't really see too much Lissandra nowadays, to be honest, but, you know, in my eyes, what this pick does is it really shuts down Qiyana, because you're just gonna try and push in constantly. You have the range advantage, you have pretty good wave clear as well, and you really do deny Qiyana in what she wants to do, because you can just lock her down, and so the kill threat there is also quite low. But then when you've taken the teleport and Predator on Lissandra too, you might actually be able to match her roam. So considering this Lissandra was picked first, I guess it was thinking it was going to be into the Akali, and YDN were like, nah, we don't want to play Akali into this. I know what we'll play, Qiyana. It's just like, in my opinion,
I'm not convinced of that. I think it's purely because that Taliyah was picked by Hjarnan, and they're like, you know what's good into Taliyah because she puts a wall down is Qiyana. Yeah, and then they weren't even thinking about where to put it. They were just thinking about that one matchup.
Now that could be very true. I mean, I could be very wrong on this as well. I mean, it's not every day you see the Poppy Taliyah bot lane as well, and drafts nowadays, you know, when you've got all the flex picks coming in, and you never really know what's happening until the last minute, and in my case, even when you're 3 minutes into the game, you still don't really know what's going on. So
don't worry, you're not alone. You're not alone. I'm still trying to figure this one out.
Look at this pressure the GamerLegion are invading into YDN's jungle here.
They have
that early advantage.
Look at this. Every single one of their lanes is pushing in to YDN. And this rotation onto Tabasko.
Oh, no.
Getting the early flash out of Tabasko. That is going to be pretty devastating for this Polish jungler. You want to see if he can exert pressure in his first showing here on European Masters. Unfortunately, the pressure is being thrown onto him.
Yeah, and because they have all the prio in top and in mid and in bot, I don't really think there's a huge amount that YDN can do right here. I just think the... Oh, yeah, GamerLegion, they're going to turn on this one. Tabasko, you got no flash, mate!
That was a great pillar as well. Nite on the other side of the wall to get first blood over to Phones. With all the lanes winning, it is easy for GamerLegion to be able to rotate there.
Honestly, there's just... Okay, there are some plays that you take that it's like, okay, there's like maybe a 25% chance this works out, but if I don't take it, then there's like a 10% chance I'm going to win the game, you know? So you take the bad plays and hope that they work. What? That had a 0% chance of working. You've got no flash already. You're not going to be able to bop the Trundle when you're Gragas, and both your solo laners don't have priority. I could just keep... It's a Renekton as well, for goodness sake. I just really have no idea why you'd even try and go for that one. Like, there was just no way on earth that was going to work. You know, Tabasko's been around for a long time. Oh, but this is a good engage here for the bot side.
The hard counter for Endz. Poppy saying, you're not allowed to even be a champion. You're not allowed to do anything. Easy kill. Looking to follow that up with 2 gifted over to the bot lane.
And that's the perfect start here for GamerLegion as well. Because Endz has gone cleanse, I'm a pirate and didn't even know it. Because he's got that summoner spell there, he doesn't have the heal to keep himself alive. Like, the cleanse really isn't that useful in the 1v1 in that bot lane. Or in the 2v2, sorry, in that bot lane. So he's not getting a lot of value out of this. And as you can see, like, there was only 1 summoner burn, which was that cleanse, which doesn't really do anything anyway. And 2 kills. Like, there's a 2,000 gold difference at 5 minutes into the game. This is a pretty good start for GamerLegion.
That's one of those FF go next, right?
Well, it's one of those... we got late game lads kind of games, you know, where even if you don't believe it, you just say it anyway. You can see that the cleanse doesn't help against Poppy and Kalista here. Sorry, Poppy and Taliyah, because they're knockups, right? Like, you can't cleanse a knockup. You can sash and flash it, but you're not gonna really be able to do too much of anything at level 3, instead of having like a heal as an alternative. So it does make you a lot more vulnerable, and I just think that, you know, Endz and Cospect didn't quite respect the vulnerability of their lane right there, because when you pick Alistar and Kalista, you think that you're gonna have the power, and they just ended up not having it.
Not at all. It's one of those things you just don't expect the Poppy support, and honestly, I'm hoping that we see more of it. I'm loving this pick into Kalista. Anyone locks in Kalista, you immediately pick Poppy, say, yeah, I dare you to lock in Kalista this early again.
And the kind of scary thing right here, if we look at previous trends for these teams, specifically coming out of YDN Gamers, they are Italy's #1, and they were really rather dominant in the Italian league, in the PG Nationals, but they were a very early game focused team. They get first blood 75% of their games. They get first tower 90% of their games. I don't really think that they're playing from a position of comfort right now when you're on the back foot this early on. It's like they seem like a team that takes early, that drafts for early, and wins through early. And then when suddenly you're this far behind at 6 minutes in, it's a big problem.
So Gabbo trying to see if he can exert some pressure into the top lane, was able to at least get the ult out of Phone, so he's going to force him back with the... kind of pushing back into Gabbo. It's going to force him to take a long walk back into the lane. The Renekton, even though he's gifted an early kill, not going to have the best time. Instead, they're going to be able to translate a lead into the bot lane, force Cospect and Endz to try to run for the hill. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to. A good flash comes in from Nite to make sure that they're going to cut off the retreat of Endz, and Cospect, they're going to fall to double kill for Rabble.
Another Trundle game, another early game advantage. It seems like this champion really has been like the MVP of EU Masters so far. He's got a pretty significant lead over Gragas now with that double kill as well. Look at that bot lane gold difference. 1,000. Like, honestly, at this point, it's just uncool. Like, I get that this is a competitive game, but these are human beings you're playing against, and I just don't think that this is particularly nice. Even the whole thing is, right, we talked about this before. Lissandra roams with the Predator. Look at that. What's the counterplay when you get Predatored into a flash, into a Lissandra ult?
By the way,
There is no counterplay.
So this is twice in a row we've also seen a Trundle with 2 early kills. Possibly going to be a third one soon too, if they're going to be able to get a good rotation out. Trundle just seems completely dominating. And I don't know if it's the entire composition of GamerLegion, but I want to put it all on the Trundle just because I like that champion.
And you know what? That he's the jungler, so I will agree with you.
Ah, see, look at this. We got the synergy going on.
That's beautiful stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to, honestly, like, so we often see in tournaments, like whether it's E-Masters or whether it's like even Worlds and stuff like that, these tournaments that have quite like a long period of time that you're playing them over, when they have like group stage, knockouts and stuff, metas do develop over time. And right now it seems like quite quickly that we've seen that we didn't see a lot of this priority when we were watching the other major regions finish off their playoffs. It seems like right now that the E-Masters teams have decided, like, they've just figured it out. It's like, okay, so this is what works best for our teams, and we're going to be picking this stuff. And I'm really curious to see as well how the meta develops to counter it as well, because obviously the Gragas just isn't really cutting it right now.
Well, and it's also crazy because you look at play-in, you look at the stats coming in from the champions. Trundle was nowhere near this dominant or just highly focused on trying to grab him immediately. I think he was towards the bottom of any jungler actually picked as well. It just shows that when people start learning how to play on a certain patch a lot more, they realize where the true power lies and where they really need to start focusing. This Trundle, I doubt, is going to start making it through too many pick and bans because they're easily able to exert this pressure into the bot lane. Endz and Cospect are forced to keep Tabasko nearby just so they can see if they can survive. This turret might fall soon after one good Q comes in to be able to pick up the kill on the Cospect. The Ignite will pick up the kill. So it's a trade so far. Support for support. Get a little bit of help coming in from Phantomles to be able to get the shutdown on a Rabble. There's maybe a little bit of an overcommit coming in from GamerLegion, giving some gold that was desperately needed to YDN.
And finally, we get the roam out of the Qiyana. We see why you pick this champion. The Moby Boots rush, able to pick up that kill and that shutdown as well on Trundle. If you're looking at the items in this game, Trundle has rushed the Tiamat, which is something that's actually pretty good on Trundle because you only have like your right clicks and your Q for damage when you're clearing the jungle. So having the Tiamat makes it a lot easier for you to really power through, and then you keep up your tempo, and it's like more uptime out of clearing jungle camps and more time like you know, like playing objectives or pressuring lanes and stuff like that. The downside is you're pretty squishy. So in that scenario right there, when you're playing Trundle and you're thinking you have an opportunity, you just end up going down to the Qiyana.
Phantomles back is cancelled right there by Visdom, and there is a threat into this mid lane. With turret plate still surviving, they're going to easily be able to take this down. It might be first turret gold going over as well. Hex Flash over the wall, but Cospect, that was not what you wanted to do. So much damage immediately hailed upon the cow, making them into mincemeat. They pick up that first turret gold as well. GamerLegion off to quite the races now.
Yeah, this is a really, really good start right here. Using that Shelly, getting that mid tower down to, if there was ever any question about which power the roam would be stronger, whether it was the Lissandra or the Qiyana, well, that first bot tower going in the mid, that's pretty much answered that question. Like, you're gonna have much more ability to roam around now with that mid lane down, and still the gold differences are just piling up across the board here. We've got a 4,000 gold difference in total, and it's relatively evenly split, but especially bot lane. Oh my god, especially
disgusting.
Oh god, like
3,000
just
total.
2,000.
No, 2,000.
Well, oh, sorry, total. Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's the support too.
It's just on. So he even like Hjarnan even ate bans in the draft. They got rid of Heimerdinger, they got rid of Varus, they got rid of Senna. He's just like, fine, I'll play Taliyah.
He's got more as phones. Looking like he might be the one that they can punish a little bit and give the kill over to Akali. It is a glimmer of hope for YDN, having this Akali assassin. Maybe she could be the one that could carry them, get into the backline, assassinate Hjarnan as many times as possible.
So on the plus side for YDN here, ooh, I don't think you want to take this one, boys. You just used all your abilities.
So they are looking like they're going to be able to back out, but Tabasko fighting against Hjarnan. That's a level lead, and the flash in from Visdom, so they get a killing spree onto this Taliyah. Exhaust going to be used. Good knockup comes in on the Phantomles, so trying to see if they can get more gold over to Hjarnan. Double kill will come through this Taliyah. 4-0-4, looking for more onto Cospect. I don't know where you are, but you're far from home. Gets knocked over the wall, pulled back in by Endz to try to see if he can keep him alive. And now Endz, you're in a pretty bad spot. Thankfully, Visdom does not have flash this time around. I had already used it to be able to pick up the earlier kills.
If you are an Italian fan right now, you really do not like crabs. You just don't like them. Yeah, there's that too. Tabasko has been caught out trying to get for the crab like more than this is at least the second time it's happened in this game, and it's unnecessary, you know, at this point. Like, why are you trying to get control on the top side of the map? Like, you saw GamerLegion has just rotated the force of their squad into the top side. Like, that's the danger zone for you guys now. Most of Summoner's Rift is a danger zone, but especially right there. Hjarnan now trying to run away. Good blast cone, good blast cone.
To be safe, Phantomles was threatening, but because there's so many people on the bot side, it's a free turret, more gold into the pockets of GamerLegion. Weaver's Wall from Hjarnan just to be able to get away. Saw Predator was popped by Tabasko. Easy to surf that out to freedom. And look at this gold lead. We're 14 minutes into the game, and it's 7,000 for GamerLegion. YDN, well, I said, you know, you can rely on Gabbo in the top lane to try to see if you can have some sort of carry. You have all these other lanes that are massively far behind.
Yeah, and it's like GamerLegion is the 3rd seed out of the Dark region here. So Dark region won it all last year, the last E-Masters, big Bernie International Gaming in 2019 summer. They were the champions. Now GamerLegion knocked out Big in order to get while they're on their path in the playoffs, and it's like, just okay. They're just look at this. You're like. Fine. Yeah, but this is the perfect summary. Like, they were so dominant in the play-ins and in their first game of the group stage as well. Like, this is the first time that this organization, that's been around for a pretty long time, mind you, has actually had a taste of the big leagues, because they're normally like a kind of like a playoff bubble team. Like, they'll maybe make the quarters and that kind of thing. But now they're actually on the E-Masters, and so far, this team looks really, really solid.
I don't think you meant to make a pun, because you said now they're in the big leagues and they knocked out Big.
Honestly, like, I've cast too much of Big in E-Masters, and I tell you, it's impossible not to make a big pun. It just unconsciously slips in there. It just happens.
It's like a weevil or something that burrows into your mind, and just it's nestled in there, and making sure that it will always be there no matter what you do.
Yeah, it's like when you were casting special last game. Can't tell you how many times you said that was or was not special, because you just can't think of anything else.
You can't.
It just happens in your mind.
There's that. I think I said it like 4 or 5 times. It's one of those things that ends up happening. I'm surprised I haven't said anything spicy about Tabasko yet, but I guess it's just because we're waiting for that play.
Yeah, we are waiting for that spicy play. So far, though, not really happened, and kind of by the numbers here for GamerLegion as well. Like, if you're looking around the entirety of the map, they've managed to take towers in top, mid, and bot lane here. They've secured all of the objectives as well, and you know, as far as these guys are concerned, like, they not only have that significant gold lead, but they also have a pretty quick win condition here with the timer on the Dragon Soul, because that Dragon Soul, you can probably pick that one up at, you know, like 24-25 minutes or so, and that's an Infernal Soul as well. So Infernal Soul is one of the best dragons for snowballing a game, because it just puts more juice into you when you're already mega juiced up, right?
Right.
And they're going to be able to look to take this one, and if they do get it, which I'm not sure YDN can really stop, they're going to have to find a way to, though, because, you know, that soul is probably going to be game if GamerLegion pick it up.
Especially for how GamerLegion's composition is about winning this mid game. They've stacked up into the Death Rush. Can they catch out Visdom or Rabble? Maybe instead they want to turn on to Hjarnan. There is that possibility. Hjarnan has no idea. Oh, there it is. They missed the knockup, but they're going to be able to get the knockup follow up. The flash comes in from Hjarnan, tried to get away. They got the stun coming in from Cospect, but he's easily going to be able to waddle his way out of there. Nobody was in time to TP in behind. Nite going to be able to take the Claw, looking to see if they can stun up Endz, but it's going to be a lot of damage into the background, getting the shutdown, the spicy play finally coming in from Tabasko, but losing your own ADC 40 ADC trade. Phantomles not going to be able to knock the ult, missed completely onto phones, and now instead they all are in a bad spot. Cospect trying to waddle away from the fight, get out of there, but Gabbo is the one in the middle of everybody. They don't care about the Cal, they want to take away the assassins, make sure they don't have to worry about losing a single other member. GamerLegion have control of the river. Cospect going for the execute, might give over the kill. No, it's not going to actually go over to Nite, but it doesn't matter. They already made sure they wiped everyone else away from YDN.
I almost thought, like YDN, if you just executed that pick on Hjarnan a little bit better and you weren't 1 million gold behind in this game, that maybe could have worked actually. I do like the spirit that they're showing for going for a play like that. But unfortunately, just a little bit of misplay on the Hjarnan, and when you're this far behind, it's kind of everything has to go perfect for you, right? There is no room for error. And GamerLegion going to pick up that 3rd dragon, their first Infernal, and now the game's kind of on that 5-minute timer, like I was talking about. You get that Dragon Soul, you get that Infernal Soul, and that's kind of game for GamerLegion. So we'll see how they play around that now.
There's Nite looking for the pick onto Gabbo. Not going to be able to get the Ring of Ice. Instead, though, you can see it was the re-engage coming in from Gabbo onto Nite. Getting a lot of damage onto Lissandra. Looking for the Frozen Tomb, finally coming out, getting the damage onto Endz. Going to be able to shove him back in and completely eviscerate Endz. Meeting his end, as well as Shelly, or Harriet, coming onto the Rift. Going to easily be able to knock down these turrets. Oh, the charge isn't there, so not going to get the damage onto Harriet. Instead, it's going to be right into the base of YDN.
And there it is. You're going to break the inhibitor tower open pre-20 minutes. And GamerLegion here, they're going for the engage as well.
Trying to see if they can get an early victory for GamerLegion. They got the kill on Gabbo on the other side. Cospect going to be able to fall as well. Losing these members only to survive, even though you look at Endz, he's able to respawn, so it is enough of a threat onto GamerLegion. Plus, they don't want to take that inhibitor this early into the game and give free gold over to YDN. Instead, they continue the stranglehold on the map. They back out of the fight, taking their little victories where they can.
If they don't want to give the free gold over to YDN, they're quite happy with the 3,000 gold difference that they have in that bot lane. That was like 2.5k mid as well. Like it's just at this point, it's a total 10k gold lead. Like that's just, how would you lose a game from this point? Like GamerLegion, if they wanted to have a good start to EU Masters, this is the most one-sided game that we've seen so far in the EU Masters, and without a miracle showing up here for YDN, it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to turn this one around. But they do have on the plus side, like the 1v1 kind of split push matchup. Like if you stick the Akali in one lane, you stick the Qiyana in another one. That matchups that when you're going up against GamerLegion with what they've drafted can work for you.
I got an
Not
idea.
when you're this far behind.
I got an idea.
Okay, I want to
hold
hear
on.
it.
I'll tell you it after we get these catches, because it's an easy knockback onto Phantomles. Not even going to be able to get away. They got the knockback coming in from the ult, but look at the damage that comes in from Hjarnan and Rabble. Rabble will find that 3rd kill of the game. It's pretty much GamerLegion saying, YDN, anytime you leave your base, exactly. I feel it, Tabasko. I feel you on a personal level. I'm watching this game. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, that's just that, really. Fair enough to
the white flag.
Be
like, please, can you just end it already? End the suffering. It's not looking too good.
Yeah, this is not how Tabasko wanted to make his EU Masters debut. But hey, this is a double round robin. You play 6 games in total in the groups before you move on into the knockouts, or you go home. And this is only game 1. This is the first game, so YDN trying to take the positives out of this one and see whether maybe they can squeeze something out of here. But honestly, like, for a team that's coming from the PG Nationals, you play in Italy, in your local region, the opportunity to play in EU Masters is in itself a massive opportunity to learn and improve. Some teams are really good at like improving and adapting on the fly, and so we actually may be able to take away some stuff from games like this and use it in the future as you go deeper into this tournament later on in the group stage, and try and pull out some W's to try and get into the knockouts.
I hope that they do learn from this game, because honestly, just looking at this draft, I feel like this is one of those games that was lost in draft. It was so well done by GamerLegion, where they get that Lissandra to say, okay, we can put that up in Akali. They get Taliyah for bot lane, saying it doesn't matter if you try to take away Heimerdinger, we still have these mages. We have so many answers, and the Poppy to pop it all off at the end of the day was such a great read coming in from GamerLegion. With Gabbo now trying to be a hero for the team, you just can't. It's too late in the game to try to make that kind of play.
Yeah, but at the same time, at least he's trying something. If you're sitting in base and not making those plays, there's a 100% chance you lose the game. If you sit there and try and make it happen, maybe there's like a 99% chance you lose the game. And hey, that's better than 100%. So, got to give him a bit of respect for that one as well. I do want to echo your sentiments about the draft, because it didn't really make a lot of sense to me personally. But this Poppy pick, just seeing him completely whiff everything, really has been the icing on the cake for GamerLegion.
Well, it doesn't matter if you miss everything. All you have to do is stand next to the Kalista, and it's okay, because she can't really do much once you do that. You say, alright, steadfast presence, so you stay right here. We continue to open the base. It is 23 minutes into the game, Fox, and we have had every inhibitor taken.
You know, as one-sided this game has looked, YDN Gamers actually had a game faster than this when they were playing in the PG Nationals. I think it was like 22 minutes was their fastest game. I don't know what on earth happened in that game if what we're seeing now is going longer than that. But, you know, this is it. You know, this is the soul. This is what we talked about. And it's just, Baron's also up at this point. You have to think that the Grim Reaper is knocking at this point.
Oh, wait. This is the perfect time for me to mention what I think YDN can do to get back into this game. So I was talking about it before.
Okay.
I had this one game where I made everyone play a custom game, and there's a Kalista, right, on the other side, and we focused the Kalista no matter what. We didn't kill anybody else. We made her die 24 times. Sorry, Cospect, I'm gonna just skip over that for now. We made her die 24 times, until the point where finally Kalista built tank. I feel like that's what you do here.
Okay. Yeah, I like that actually. Well, I'm not sure. She could try and sell her items and maybe pick up like a Randuin's or something. But I'm not. Either way, I'm not. I'm going to be honest. I don't think it really increases their chances.
I think that
of doing anything
we just got to see how the games are learned for YDN. We mentioned it before. The draft was a bit of a mistake, but GamerLegion, they look so clean in this first showing on the main stage, even though they're going for the fountain dive at the very end, trying to pad the KDA wherever possible, give more kills over to Hjarnan, say, doesn't matter if you ban away my Heimerdinger, I got more mages up my sleeve. No matter what, I'll always find these picks, and it's GG.
Qiyana had a really good performance that game, especially as you say, he was focused a decent amount in the draft. For me, so whenever a team looks like they got stomped or looks bad, you have to remember that on the other side there's someone who stomped them and made them look bad, you know. So it's the same philosophy if you're playing solo queue, like, oh, my teammates always lose, they always get stomped, they always go 0-10. It's like, okay, so why are they going 0-10? Why is that happening? Learn from that, do it yourself, and then you're going to start making the other team go 0-10, and that's a way that you can actually have some more success in solo queue instead of just getting really frustrated. But my point being, I
love it.
Big props to GamerLegion for how they played that game. They were really, really solid.
It was an amazing start for them. Coming into this tournament, Prime League, they had a rough start with Schalke 04 Evolution losing their first matchup, but the other two teams were able to come out with a force and say, hey, we got Mouse Esports, they're going to be able to dominate. GamerLegion as well, being able to take their first victory in the main stage. But for now, we're going to toss it over to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dissect that game just a little bit more.
You've seen our name on the jerseys of amazing teams. Now, we are supporting one more. One that you don't see live on TV. But they are the best team in the world, and they are playing the toughest game. Maybe they're not performing in front of millions, but they are under the pressure of an entire planet. And they don't have fans cheering their names, but they have patients who will forever remember them. And they also need your help to win this game. stay home like a pro.
Hello, welcome back in. We're here to dissect that last game that we just witnessed, and man, that was a showing from Team GamerLegion, showing us why we've all been just staring at the Prime League, saying this is the region to watch.
Yeah, and it all started around the bot side of this map. The Poppy support pick, which hard countered like every single one of YDN's champions. It was so 5,000 IQ, you know. It was so smart, and Hjarnan on this Taliyah as well, especially. Like, he was always able to make things happen, and I think that's going to be really useful going forward here in the rest of the tournament, because they even tried to attack him in draft and it wasn't particularly successful. So if GamerLegion are this, if they are the draft wizards, that, you know, they have this spicy picks and they're really hard to ban out and that kind of thing, that bodes very well for them moving forward.
Especially because, you know what, I just realized we never got to see the fun synergy of Poppy Taliyah, where you put the wall up and you get to knock people into your own wall. It's like the Anivia Poppy lane that people used to do just for fun. And we didn't get to see that because they were so dominant. They were able to have those victories in every lane. Every single lane was able to shove in and win. That is why they now are at the top, tied up with Gamers Origin, seeing if they can be that underdog that people are like, oh, it's clearly Gamers Origin and BTXL that are going to make it out of this group.
Yeah, and GamerLegion really do want to kind of make a statement and say, you know what, nah, this is This is not a free group for you guys. We can make it out as well. And to be honest, when we get the Dark region in general, when we get them in the EU Masters, there's always stuff that they can do. I said it a million times, we'll say it again. They won it last time around. They have some exceptionally talented teams, especially in this EU Masters right now. We saw Mouse yesterday. We're going to see Schalke next game here too. And just all in all, so far, I'm just really impressed with how the Prime League has put up so far.
Same here, but I do want to see Schalke 04 Evolution be able to bounce back, because they did lose yesterday. They do get to go up against Team Singularity, who had a very difficult game against Kick Neosurf, but this is where you can kind of say, okay, Schalke, you need to prove to us why we have all been staring at you as this top team, the one that we have all favorited to win European Masters this year. GamerLegion just showed us why Prime League is a top region, and why Germany has been this top region that we've all been staring at. Schalke need to do it as well, but you can see the entirety of the groups. Every single team has now played at least one game. We'll have a couple that are going to be able to get those 2 games that will show a little bit more of their worth.
I'm just, at this point, I don't like saying this particularly before a matchup, but if Schalke lose this game, then that is bad news bears, big time. Like, they are huge favorites for this game. They are some favorites for the entire tournament as well. Singularity already lost their first game of this EU Masters. They are the Nordic representative who normally they did get out of groups before, like they have been known to show up, but they're not a region that we look at and think, okay, this is a powerhouse. Unlike the Dark region, which most certainly is. And if you're the number 1 seed coming out of that region, you know, there really is no alternative to a matchup like this than winning.
What a power statement would it be for Team Singularity? They had a rough day 1, but if they were to somehow take down Schalke 04 Evolution in this game, get a big upset, I think that would be a great momentum swing for them, where they could come into this game and they could say, okay, we're going to play our style. We can get more of the Nidalee jungle that we've been very comfortable with playing. Try to go for that. We don't care if it's Trundle this, Trundle that. It's all about what we're happy with.
Yeah, I think Pocket Picks will probably, at some point, Singularity, will say, you know what, let's go to Comfort. We'll whip out our spicy picks. We might see that against Schalke Evolution as well.
All right, but right now, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is going to be the game Schalke 04 Evolution versus Team Singularity. As well, guys, don't forget, while you're taking this break, enjoy our Warner Music Song of the Day. I hope you guys enjoy it, because I know I will definitely enjoy it.